What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the microphone messiah. I'm not joined by Brandon. I'm not joined by Brian. I'm not even joined by baby Huey. I'm joined by the creator of Stockton and Lodi Con, Mr. Mike Miller. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. Hey, it's just great to be here, man. And you mentioned Huey, and come on, come on.
Huey comes on to like once or twice a year.
Right, but the last time he was on, it was great. It was great stuff. It was great fire.
Yeah, no, Huey was on with the he was on the end of year awards show. I like to throw him on that to kind of jazz it up. But we're here to talk about AEW Battle of the Belts. It took place Saturday. It was a live special on TNT. It was an hour. There were 3 matches: an interim TNT title match, a FTW title match, and then the AEW Women's World Championship. So with that being said, let's talk about the TNT title. Cody Rhodes, I guess he was in isolation. He'd been exposed to COVID-19. So AEW, they threw out an audible. They set out to crown an interim TNT champion. So I assume, spoiler alert, Sammy Guevara won. I assume Sammy and Cody will have a match for the undisputed TNT championship, which, they have a nice little story going. So that's
sure.
That's something interesting. What are your thoughts on an interim championship like this?
That's a little page out of the playbook of UFC. A lot of times when a guy's injured in training or whatever, they'll put somebody up into the match with who he was going to fight at the next pay-per-view, and then boom, you got an interim. It just, I like it because it kind of creates a little extra buzz. So Sammy was a champ, and obviously Cody deserved the win. He got the win, so that's the way it goes. So, but now he has a little bit of bragging rights, and I would imagine that they would, maybe they'll do it on a Dynamite here upcoming, or maybe they'll save it for a pay-per-view. Who knows?
Absolutely. I like this idea of like these one-off specials. I think doing these periodically throughout the year, because their pay-per-views are kind of so spread apart. I think it helps like to cap storylines off, and plus hopefully, it won't make their pay-per-views like 4 hours like they have been over the last couple months.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that at some point, right now there's the 4 big pay-per-views, right, throughout the year. And then they do like the winter is coming in December on Dynamite. And I really like that because it's a destination in between the pay-per-views. So I think that's a really cool way to do it. When you're dealing with that sort of thing, I think that at some point AEW, it just makes sense that they'll add more pay-per-views. Do you agree?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm not going to call him TK. Everybody calls him TK. I think the Con has kind of figured out what he actually likes with just like the 4 big pay-per-views, going retro WWF style like they did back in the day, and periodically they would do like a big Coliseum video special type deal or something like that. So I think Tony's found what he likes, and yeah, it's just, look, the main thing about these little specials, as long as they keep the pay-per-views shorter, because like, those AEW pay-per-views, they've started to drag. They really have. It's
yeah. I could definitely see them moving to 6 at some point. I don't think they'll go monthly. Definitely not like anytime soon, but I could see it. I could see a 5th and a 6th at some point in the future. Who knows? What do I know? But I think it would be kind of a cool thing, and makes almost testing the waters with the Dynamites that they're kind of doing as mini pay-per-views, or just kind of, like you said, end of storyline type of things. But I think that with Dustin Rhodes, such a great wrestler, and we'd love to get him at a future show. So seeing him on a hot, kind of a marquee type of event is really cool. And and Guevara is really good as well. So they had a great match, and it's going to be one of those things where once Cody gets back and is ready to go, and I'm not sure, you might know this more than I do, but is Cody going to be on TV every week because he's doing the talent show, right? The Go Big show, is that what? Yeah.
When he stepped away, when he was feuding with Malachi, that's when he filmed all that stuff. So yeah, he'll be on Dynamite or Rampage or whatever for the foreseeable future on a weekly basis, I guess, with the championship.
Sure. So,
Yeah, but
but I mean, but that's a good, like you said, it's a good match, a rematch, and it's like, Sammy probably should have gotten a rematch anyway. So it's just kind of like it just gives more incentive, I guess.
yeah, no, I mean they were scheduled to do it, but with him being the interim champion, it gives it people. I guess they'll care more about this in a way. But I mean, just a couple tidbits from the match. Sammy Guevara, great athlete. He's flipping all over the place. Dustin, he's slowing down the pace, keeping it old school. Dustin does a Canadian destroyer to Sammy Guevara off of the apron onto a table where Fuego del Sol pops up and brings out a table. I was like, okay, cool. Everybody's doing the Canadian destroyer nowadays, and I think I think they really meshed well together. The building that they were in was, I forget the name of it, but it was like Dustin. I guess he got his start like in wrestling there. That's what they were saying. So it had like a nice kind of like homey vibe for Dustin Rhodes and stuff like that. Yeah.
I love the Canadian Destroyer. Big fan of Petey Williams. I just love it as like kind of a finisher. I mean, obviously there's the evolution of wrestling. I mean, one super kick used to be a finish, right?
Yeah, no,
We're going back that far, right? Like,
that
well, I'm just saying, I'm going to say the Canadian Destroyer is a great move, and it's a great finisher, and it just looks so unique. It looks amazing, right? And I don't know. I see it as a kind of maybe if that would have been done in the ring on a table, it might have been the finish. Who knows?
Yeah, no, it's been a whole thing. I've had these discussions about like certain moves they don't feel special anymore. Super kick is basically a punch now. I mean,
Right, exactly.
There are some people who feel that way about like a clothesline because like Stan Hansen, if he threw it, it was done. In JBL, if he threw a clothesline, it was over.
Right.
Stuff like that. But I mean, Peter Williams, a great guy. Hope maybe he could be at a Stockton Con one day. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. Moving on from that, let's go to the FTW Championship match. Absolute Ricky Starks, the FTW champion, defends against Matt Sydal, aka Evan Bourne, from when he was in WWE. Starks is accompanied by Powerhouse Hobbs, Willie Hobbs, a Bay Area zone. Yeah, so this was a cool match. I mean, they worked well together. Starks is excellent, man. Like he should be a bigger deal on TV. I know he's doing the whole Team Taz thing now, but whenever he breaks away from that, or if they just stick together and they raise their stock, he can be a really big star. Like I said, they worked well together. Starks has one of the best spears in the business.
Mm-hmm.
Just the full extent on it. I love that. And then he hits his finisher. It's the old Dominator that Bobby Lashley and Ron Simmons used to do. Hold him on your shoulder, you just drive him down. He calls it the Rochambeau. Nothing too much. Nothing. I guess I can't have any more else to say about the match. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm tired.
Ricky Starks is great. I mean, I enjoyed watching him in NWA, and you could just tell when he was there, he was going to be on a bigger star scale. Where that was going to be at the time, didn't know, but obviously, now with AEW, and he was one of those guys that got a chance against Cody and made the most of it, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. That was a great thing about Cody and those open challenges for that TNT title during the real like bulk of the pandemic. You see guys like Ricky Starks and Eddie Kingston pop up and stuff like that. Now they have roles within the company.
Well, it's great ways for them to obviously evaluate talent and see how the fans react. And the next thing Eddie Kingston is one of the bigger stars on the face side, and Starks is one of the bigger stars on the heel side. Really, I mean, with the FTW title, I'm like you said, I agree 100% with you. I think when Taz and crew get sick of him, he's gonna go be a face and be a great company guy.
Absolutely. Now the main event of the evening saw Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, take on Rio for the AEW Women's World Championship. Go check out the interview Baby Huey did with Britt Baker. She was just on the ITK. Great interview. Shout out Baby Huey. He does a great job.
Yeah, he does. And that's a great interview.
And yeah, I mean, just Rebel and Jamie Hayter are on the outside. I think what Hayter throws the championship in, and Rebel gets kicked out, and Rio dived onto Rebel on the outside, and Rebel and Hayter are playing their role. Britt Baker with a sling blade on the outside, a curb stomp on the inside. All in all, she hits the lockjaw one, and Rio taps out. Britt Baker is still the AEW Women's Champion. Now, I've had this conversation with other people. I want to have this conversation with you. I feel as though Britt Baker, I mean, she's great. People love her. She's over, but like I feel like her matches are only as good as the person she's in there with. If she has to lead, it's okay, but it's not like very good. But when she's like in there with like a Thunder Rosa, you see what they can do together. I love the lights out match that they had on Dynamite last year. So
yeah, I mean, I think Rio's a great talent. I think that she's been around for a while. Obviously, she was its first champion. I mean, she is established, but also that being said, she is very small in stature. So working with somebody like Britt, it's a little bit more of a challenge because even though she's an established veteran and has been wrestling for, I'm not sure of her career, but well over 10 years, and you have somebody with where Britt kind of needs the lead in that, if that makes sense. But maybe, I don't know. It was still a very good match, but I mean, yeah, I think you're right. Britt with the right opponent has fantastic matches. And there was also a time where when she won the title, it almost seemed like she was going to do a face turn there, right? I mean, and then she had the homecoming in Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh and all that, and then they just went the other way with it. And then so I think she's at some point going to be a great face. And I mean, it's maybe a little similar to Ricky Starks in that, but maybe that's down the road a little bit.
Yeah, I do remember the Pittsburgh homecoming. I guess like whenever a heel is in their hometown, it's the one night in AEW where they're a babyface. I mean, MJF did it. He did it in Plainview. So
yeah, that's probably true.
I guess. No, I mean, but both women, they worked their butts off to make this probably the best encounter to date. They did everything they could, man. They did everything they could.
I love you, Phillip. You're awesome.
Hey, man. They did everything.
Hey, I mean, that's the one thing. You're not going to get nights off in AEW. That's all I know. When you have these people like, Britt and Rio, they're going to give their all no matter what. And they're on a bigger stage. It's a battle of the belts. It's a bigger, it's another one of these little mini pay-per-views, and it was kind of a special one-off, right? So, you're going to get that. And I think that, moving forward, there's a lot of great matches ahead for all the people on this show. I think Dustin Rhodes is obviously doing a great job training some of the AEW folks as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it was the first time like women have main evented an AEW show. So, I think so. So if that is the case, congratulations.
The lights out match was a main event, I thought, wasn't it?
It might. You know what? I think it was. I think it was a main event.
But that was a hell of a match. I mean, I love Thunder Rosa from the Bay Area. I mean, it's awesome, very awesome. One of the top female wrestlers in the world right now.
Absolutely. Let me recant my statement. I think the first main event of a special.
There you go.
There we go. Of a special pay-per-view event, pay-per-view adjacent quality show. But yeah, I mean, Battle of the Belts, it was fine. I'm sure they'll do another one of these, and different. They have other championships now. They have the TBS title now. The AEW World title wasn't on the line. Of course, the tag team championships weren't on the line, so maybe those will be on the line in the next go around when we get to another Battle of the Belts or another live special like this.
Speaking of the Battle of the Belts, I meant to mention this earlier, but when we were talking about the FTW belt, I mean, it's a featured belt on a Battle of the Belts pay-per-view / TV special. But I mean, really, realistically, it's just Taz walking out and going, "Hey, here's the title."
Yeah. No.
I mean, It's like, why don't you start one?
I mean, I have a couple championships. I have a couple championships that's been made by West Coast Design. He'll be at Stockton Con.
That's right.
Yeah, so I
love West Coast. He's awesome.
We'll see, man. I'll talk to I'll talk to West Coast or UGWA, see if I can just walk out and hand somebody a Bullet Cast championship.
There you go.
We'll see. Like we'll see. Now let's talk about Stockton Con. It is this Sunday, January 16th. A lot of guests, star-studded wrestling guests. You have Curtis Hussey, who was Fandango in WWE. You have Prince Pretty, aka Tyler Breeze. Darby Allin rescheduled for Lodi Con, so that he'll be there then. You have Pentagon, former AEW Tag Team Champion, WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And then of course you have other people like Chris Marin, I think that's how you say his name. I don't want to butcher it. You have Drew Johnson, Dan Breton or Breton.
Yeah, okay. Some great artists. Yeah, for sure.
Great artists. Edward Furlong, Brandon McKinney, and Jason Marnocha.
Marnocha, yeah.
Marnocha, okay. Yeah, so I mean, explain to people who have never been to a Stockton Con or a Lodi Con what the experience is like. I mean, it's at the Stockton Arena. It's cool, man. It's a nice time. I went to the most recent one.
Yeah, I think you've been to the last couple. I think you were to Lodi as well.
Yeah, Lodi Con. That was my first Lodi Con. It was it's fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pop culture event. I mean, folks can come out and obviously meet celebrities, meet artists, and we have a ton of vendors. We have over total. We'll have just under 200 vendors and artists and guest tables at the event. So we have all types of vendors: comic books, pop, vinyl pops, Funkos, action figures, anime, manga, all kinds of things. And then, of course, as you mentioned, the formerly Tyler Breeze and formerly Fandango, Rikishi, and Penta. I mean, and that's gonna be awesome. So, Darby Allin has some filming scheduled this week, so he will be rescheduled for Lodi, so that'll be awesome as well. But it's an event where this is our 10th year of doing events now. So we started in 2012, and we've been growing a little bit by a little bit. Obviously, a little bit of a setback in 2020, with COVID coming through, and there's been a little bit of a surge lately. We've been working very closely with the state and county health folks to make sure it's a safe event. A mask are required, except for when eating, and that's it. And you have to either have a negative test or both doses of a vaccination. So, you're coming in and we're, like I said, we're trying to make it as safe as possible for the fans and have a good time for people.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I went to Lodi Con and then I went to the most recent Stockton Con, while we're in this pandemic era. And hey, man, it felt normal. It was nice to have a sense of normalcy. I love that. But I have to say, I think the one non-wrestler that I'm most excited to meet that's on this guest list is Joseph Marcel. He played Jeffrey on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been lucky. We're kind of slowly but surely doing the full cast of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. At our previous Stockton Con winter, we had Tatiana Ali. And originally we had Karen Parsons and Joseph at this show. And Karen had to reschedule for Stockton Con summer this year. So, she had a scheduling issue as well. But we're excited to have Joseph. It's going to be fun. And I just found this out a couple of days ago. This is the first ever convention appearance for Joseph. So
really?
This is, so people coming to Stockton Con this weekend, they're going to get to meet him for the first time ever at a convention. So that's going to be cool.
Okay, that's what's up. I'm going to be right in line.
There you go.
Love Jeffrey on The Fresh Prince, man.
Yeah.
So are you looking to complete kind of the whole cast?
We'd love to. I mean, there's one person that it's going to be really tough to get, but
I'm sure you can get Big Will.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'd love to, but I know we obviously we love we love working with, whatever celebrities we can get to come out. And, Tatiana had a great time here a couple of years ago, and Karen was really looking forward to it. She felt bad that she couldn't make this one. And, she's going to make it up to the fans in August. So you're going to have to come back to meet her.
Oh, most definitely. I was looking forward to meeting her, but she had to reschedule. That's okay. I'll be there. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I will be there. Yeah, nice. Man. I mean, going to these conventions, like you walk around like you've had Darth Vader there a number of times. And
sure. See Andrew Nelson, he'll be there again this time.
Hey, I love chopping it up with him. And then you had Walter Jones, who played Black Ranger in Mighty Morphin Time. Yeah. And it was cool talking to him because I grew up watching that as a kid. And I'm thinking like, this is a trip. I used to watch this dude on TV and I'm talking to him. This is crazy. That's kind of stuff that happens at these conventions, man. It's wholesome fun.
Well, yeah, and you get the opportunity to kind of go up and have a one-on-one interaction with people, and that's a really important thing. And as you mentioned from the original Power Rangers series, we actually have we have Romy Sharp, who played the original Alpha 5. So she'll be there this weekend as well. So she was a late addition, so we're lucky to get her to come out. So it's a really cool guest list. Check it out at StocktonCon.com. And we have between our special guests, artists and celebrities, we have over 25. So definitely a chance to interact with some folks that are great creators in all fields, whether they be comic books or other kinds of art, or movies, TV, wrestling. They're all artists.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, Mike, thank you so much for doing this. We're gonna have to get you on before Lodi Con. We gotta get you on for something, probably some sort of pay-per-view recap or premium live event. That's what WWE's calling them now.
Well, maybe I'll bring a friend with me too. You never know. You never know who I might drum up.
You never know, man. So plug all the Stockton Con stuff right now while we're here.
Sure. Well, just follow us on social media. Stockton Con it's all one word, STOCKTONCON. And you can find us on Facebook there, Instagram and Twitter, whichever is your preference. We do have we just started a TikTok channel. We have a cool video on there, and we're going to be posting on our YouTube channel as well. One of our guys did an interview with Tyler Breeze a while back. So that'll be posted, I believe, tomorrow. So that'll be fun. And just check us out online check out the website, StocktonCon.com, and you can buy tickets there. Pre-sale tickets are only $10, which is a pretty good deal, and $15 at the door.
Oh, wow. That's awesome, man. Yeah, guys, go to Stockton Con, go to Lodi Con. Mike has helped this podcast out tremendously with being able to interview people like Kelly and Ted DiBiase. He's given us a little street cred.
That's right, man.
We appreciate it. Myself
right,
and the boys. We appreciate it, man.
You got it, man. Well, it's a pleasure being with you, man. I love you, and we'll see you this weekend.
All right. Thank you, Mike.